Trump is in Middle East, I think in Qatar right now, but on the way there, he did an interview on Fox News and he shared some details about why US got involved in India-Pakistan war, and it likely has to do with nuclear stuff.
Donald Trump has been speaking with our colleagues at Fox News. Here's his interview with Sean Hannity on Air Force One.
Get first dibs in terms of prices. The last American hostage has been released. We're on this trip to Saudi Arabia, Qatar. There's not much going on in your life, is there?
Well, I've been busy, but I've enjoyed it because we're getting things accomplished. We're getting things done. You know, you can have times when you're working very hard and not getting things done. That happens too. But we're getting a lot done. I don't think there's ever been a little period like this with the potential nuclear war. And the two countries, they have very good leaders, people I know very well.
See, potential nuclear war. No one was really thinking nuclear war until US got involved. Because J.D. Vance was saying that U.S. is not going to get involved. We're already involved in too many wars. We don't want another one. But right after he did that interview, U.S. had to negotiate a ceasefire or help negotiate a ceasefire. Again, India is saying U.S. didn't do much. Pakistan saying thank you so much. But U.S. basically got both sides talking. And that's why there's a ceasefire right now.
Well, and you know, it was a very important process. We got involved with India and Pakistan.
You got involved early. Can you give us a little insight what happened behind the scenes? How were you able?
Well, I didn't like what was happening. And you hear, you know, they're two very strongly nuclear countries, very, very powerful amount of nuclear too, serious stuff. And if that ever started, boy, that's the beginning of something that could be really bad. Even a minimal, you could have millions of people killed. And with one shot, two shots, and I just thought it was something we could get involved in, and I did a good job, Marco.
Now, a lot of people are taking Trump's like millions of people saved comment and really thinking we were very close to nuclear war. And it wasn't just Trump's comments. There was some activity in Pakistan that was like, this could escalate very quickly. We'll get into that in just a second.
Did a good job, and JD did a good job. We sort of were a team, and we, I think, convinced them to let's have peace and let's go and make trade deals. If we can make trade deals, we like that much better than nuclear weapons.
Oh yeah, if you guys see above my head, we are like 40 subscribers away from 1.7 mil. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We got 400 people here. I'm sure we can get 40 subscribers and get to 1.7 mil.
And that was a great thing, and we did a good job with the Houthis. They stopped.
Hey, what's up on the grind?
With the shooting of the ships. They like shooting ships.
Is that a done deal? Because there's been conflicting reports that some of their leaders are saying, oh, that's not true.
Well, it is with respect to America. Now, you know, you can't always count on somebody necessarily telling the truth, but their surrogates were very strong, very powerful, very good relationship with them. You know, they're tough fighters. They can take a lot of punishment, but with respect to America, they say it's true. So we'll see. You'll know. You'll be the first to know, won't you?
Oh, I follow the news closely. I read everything. I think the biggest surprise from this weekend, it was a week ago Friday, where I saw that China announced, quote, if the president is serious, we will be willing to negotiate with him. And Scott Bessent, your Treasury Secretary, met with their representatives in Geneva on Saturday. On Monday, you're announcing a trade, well, actually on Sunday, you announced a deal with China.
Yeah.
How did that happen that quickly?
Well, they met on Saturday and Sunday, and they had a deal pretty much from the beginning. It was the concept of a deal. And, you know, one of the things that, as you know, it's sort of a 90-day deal as we negotiate other aspects. But one of the things I think that could be most exciting for us and also for China is that we're trying to open up China.
Now, with the China topic, we'll get into that in just a second. We have a temporary 90-day deal with China where the tariff rates are at 30%. If you combine that with all the other tariff rates, it's like 50-55%. But there's hope that we're going to have a permanent deal. But if there's no permanent deal, the rate will go up to probably 75%. So this was when Trump was flying into Saudi, Carol, but now I think he's in Qatar. So this is a day old, but that's mainly because we're listening to this because he talks about the nuclear war that could have happened in India, Pakistan. That's why we wanted to see this. But let's look at all the other evidence we have from that region. that kind of hints at that something happened, and that's why there was such an emergency ceasefire.
There are fears of a nuclear winter. I'm sure you've seen the online chatter, an unconfirmed strike, rumors of radiation leak, mysterious Egyptian flights, and suspicious earthquakes. It's got all the makings of a dramatic war story. But what is the truth here? Did India actually hit a Pakistani nuclear site? We'll try to answer that question tonight. The speculation, we can tell you, began after a strike on May 10th. The target is believed to be Kirana Hills. This is located near Sargodha. Sargodha is a city in Pakistan's Punjab province. Now,
oh yeah, we hit 1.7. Thank you so much. But no, I just had her on 2x speed. That's why it was so fast. Now it's normal speed.
reports say that these hills, the Kirana Hills, hold Pakistani nuclear weapons. We've got some videos from that area. You can clearly hear people say that Kirana has been hit. Take a look at this first.
किराना पहाड़ी ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੁਗੇ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਮਜ਼ਾਰ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋਇਆ ਦੂਜਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਮੁਸਲਸਲ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਕਿਰਾਨਾ ਪਹਾੜੀ ਤੋਂ ਦੋ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਦੋ ਮਿਜ਼ਾਈਲ ਫਾਇਰ ਹੋਏ ਅਭੀ
And cue the speculation. Experts wondered if India had struck a Pakistani nuclear site, specifically the entrance to the site. The timing is certainly suspect. Within hours of this attack, Pakistan sued for peace. The Americans also spoke about some alarming intel that they had received.
Well, nuclear weapons, you do have to keep it updated. But then again, Pakistani nuclear weapon, Koru, is not as old as like Soviet. So I doubt it's past the half-life or something. Let me look it up.
Now, all of this added fuel to the fire.
Yeah, the live chat is a good way to raise the subscriber count. That's true.
Some people were convinced that India had hit Kirana Hills. The Indian military was asked about this. The answer was a resounding no.
Thank you for telling us that Kirana Hill houses some nuclear installation. We did not know about it. Okay. And we've not hit Kirana Hills, whatever is there. Okay. I did not brief in my briefing yesterday.
I think from the US side, the worry was less that India hit something that was storing nuclear weapons. The worry was more that India was targeting places that are very close to Pakistan's nuclear facility. So Pakistan may escalate into something that turns into a nuclear war. That was a bigger worry. That's why J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio got involved.
He said it as clearly as possible.
Yeah, as Bart said, concern also was like if Pakistan ever falls apart, because their economy is very fragile. They keep asking for bailouts from IMF, from China, from every single country. This is where it's like, if a country needs aid, I think aid should be conditional on them giving up their nuclear weapons. Because if the government is so unstable that they can just fall apart, maybe they shouldn't have a nuclear weapon.
Yet the rumors did not end. Yesterday, the issue reached the US State Department. They were asked a yes or no question. Has a US team gone to Pakistan over nuclear radiation fears? Has America sent a team to check nuclear radiation in Pakistan? That was the question. Listen to the answer.
Has US sent a team to Islamabad or Pakistan following the reports that there have been leaks of nuclear radiation in some of the secure Pakistani sites?
I have nothing to preview on that at this time.
They did not confirm or reject it. Now add to that a mysterious Egyptian plane. It landed at a small airport north of Sargodha, and this happened recently. Reports say it was carrying boron to Pakistan. Now, boron is a chemical element. It is often used to suppress nuclear reactions. So the speculation is that Pakistan is using boron to contain the fallout. Now, just to be clear, there is no official word on such a disaster, neither from India nor from Pakistan.
Yeah, I think the front lines, or I guess the border, is frozen. There's no.
Nonetheless,
he's saying the stream is frozen. I think stream is good.
It's a story worth looking at because India has created a new doctrine against Pakistan. And in this doctrine, nuclear blackmail will not be accepted. Prime Minister Modi himself has made that clear.
कोई भी न्यूक्लियर ब्लैकमेल भारत नहीं सहेगा।
Both India and Pakistan have around 170 nuclear warheads each. India has a no first use policy, meaning we will only use nukes in response to a nuclear attack. We will not be the first ones to use.
Yeah, as soon as the war started, as social called out, there were a lot of Chinese officials in Pakistan just to monitor how Chinese weapons are doing. And on top of that, I think Chinese missiles were used and Chinese jets were used from the Pakistani sides to carry out their retaliations.
Or to fire a nuke. But Pakistan has a different policy. They have talked about using any weapon to defend themselves, perhaps even nuclear weapons. They do not rule it out. Until now, Pakistan has hid behind this nuclear shield. But as Prime Minister Modi said, it won't work anymore. Nuclear blackmail or not, India will strike back. Which brings us to Pakistan's arsenal. Their nukes are stored in a disassembled state. What does that mean? It means that the warhead is stored separate from the missile. So if you want to fire them, you'll have to assemble them first. You'll have to load the warhead on the missile. Now the question is, where are they stored? Across the country. Pakistan can fire nukes from the air and land, not from the sea yet. From the air, they can...
Yeah, with the tariff war, especially the tariff we put on China, it wasn't just about bringing jobs back. It's also about, we don't want critical supply chains be dependent on a nation we may go to war with, especially since we have promised to defend Taiwan, and CCP is adamant about taking over Taiwan by 2027. So it's better to move the supply chain right now than wait till the war.
Fire nuclear weapons using...
The chances is, I don't think all the factories, let's say if this trade war continues for a long time, all the factories are not coming back to the US. The low value work is probably going to go to like other nations like India, Vietnam, Latin America. And the high value work, probably like, high quality stuff, that will come back to United States. Or at least that's the hope.
The Mirage planes. 4 bases in Pakistan are said to house the Mirages. The Minaz base in Attock, the Rafiqi base in Shorkot, the Shahbaz base in Jacobabad, and the Masroor base near Karachi. These 4 bases have the Mirage jets. So logically, the nuclear warheads should be nearby, near these bases. Then you have land-based ballistic missiles like the Shaheen 2 and the Fateh 2. Reports say at least 5 bases in Pakistan could house these missiles: Gujranwala, Sargodha, Pano Akil, Khuzdar, and Akro. Like we just told you, Sargodha is near Kirana Hills. So the question is, could India have struck this target?
I'm not sure if the water is still blocked, Jay. I know India blocked it, but then again, they said they would block it, but it wasn't like it was completely blocked. I think they blocked it for a few hours, then they reopened it. But they pulled out of the treaty they had, the water treaty.
I don't think there is any doubt on the capability. Indian missiles were hitting Pakistani bases at will. They also cratered a runway at the Sargodha Air Base. So yes, we could have hit Kirana Hills if we wanted to. Whether we actually did or not is a different question. The Indian Army says we did not. And 2 factors would have guided this decision. Number 1, the escalation. You see, striking air bases is one thing, but striking a nuclear site is a major escalation. And as the military said, that was never our intention. Operation Sindoor was non-escalatory from the word go. That's the first point. Factor number 2, the fallout. Kirana Hills is just 170 kilometers from the Indian border. If there is an explosion, if there's a nuclear explosion there, would the...
Hey, Rupees, thank you. Yeah, I don't know too much about stock. That's why I didn't answer that question. Or also you shouldn't look for, I guess, investment advice from YouTubers.
Fallout be limited to Pakistan? Or would it be felt across the border too, in India? New Delhi would have thought about it. Also, our forces have used their strength responsibly. Throughout this conflict, Pakistan targeted Indian civilians, but India made sure that Pakistani civilians did not become collateral damage. Plus, our forces have proven their ability to carry out precision strikes. So I repeat,
Yeah, Trump does do insane amount of press conference. I think almost every single day Trump has been talking to the press.
India wanted, it could have struck Pakistani nukes by first hitting the base near their nuclear command center and then hitting the mountains holding the nukes. It would have been the death blow. But India's denial.
By the way, we got almost 700 concurrent viewers. If you guys haven't hit the like button, we're trying to get to 1,000 likes. So if you're enjoying the content, be sure to hit the like button down below. We have a counter above too.
Israel has been categorical. So as things stand, there was no nuclear escalation. It's just one of those war stories that fuel intrigue and imagination. And thank God for it. At First Post, we are choosing to hold on to accuracy. That means we won't always be first. We may not get you your breaking alert.
Oh, my mic volume is low. Let me check. I'll raise it right now. I'll talk louder too.
But what you will get is what we owe you. And that is the truth. Verified, checked, and cross-checked. We rely on sources and verified ones. After all, that's what...
Stimulus. I was actually watching some World War II documentary last night. I think US was really bluffing Japan into a surrender because we were telling them we're going to keep dropping a nuclear bomb every single day if Japan doesn't surrender. But in reality, we didn't have any more bombs. I think we only had 2 and we dropped both of them.